I got to dig into the second question. You said went on your own, and that was a mistake. And here you are, you got Pintas and Mullins. So was it a mistake because you started early? Like what was undercapitalized? Like tell me,
Well, all
just
of it. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no money, making mistakes. And it took a lot longer to get it to where it was successful because I didn't know anything. And, I did have my own little business when I was in high school. I had an auto body shop. So, I mean, I had some basic business skills and stuff like that. I was a business major in college. But, opening up a law firm is a different animal. And so, but little by little, you make enough mistakes and you persevere. And little by little, you start figuring things out. Plus, when I became a lawyer, advertising was just a few years old at that point where people were allowed to advertise. And so, even though I had very little money, I jumped on that bandwagon running late night TV commercials. I was paying $25 a commercial, so I'd save a couple $1,000s and I'd run spots. And I had no employees, and people would call and they'd say, "Yeah, I saw the commercial on TV," and they said, "Are you the guy?" And I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh wow, you do commercials and you answer the phone." I said, "Well, we like a hands-on approach." So they liked it. I mean, I had to answer the phone. I had no other employees. So I've done every job there is at the firm, from start one.
that's amazing. That's amazing because you get the full rounded experience. You get to understand
Exactly.
like when you're running the firm and you have the staff that you have. So Pintas and Mullins now it's one of the largest partnering firms. So you work with over 500 law firms, and you know describe to me, and you mentioned advertising being early in and running these TV spots and learning acumen. Tell me about this model and like you know I think it's really smart, but there's a lot of challenges with it.
Sure.
Communication, originating the cases. Talk to me about the structure because it's a bit different than your
Yeah.
standard PI firm.
It's certainly a lot different than the standard personal injury law firm, and it's different in many ways. So we're among the largest advertising firms, and we're probably the largest partnering firm in the country. And so the other thing is that we originate all the marketing internally, from pay per click to TV. I mean, our chief marketing officer has 35 years of experience in television buys. We're very robust on our pay-per-clicks. We've been invited out to Google headquarters twice. They said, "We haven't worked with a law firm that does what you do." We run a lot of Facebook ads, and we do a lot of other proprietary type of marketing, and we're doing it internally. And we're really, really good at it. And so we can originate cases cheaper because we're not paying an agency fee, and we know what we're doing. And not every case type is good for TV or PPC or Facebook or for other marketing channels, and certain case types work really well with it. And so since we can go ahead and do all of them, we can test one against the other. And we kind of have a pretty good feel for which one works and which one doesn't work. And so we're just really, really good at that.
There's a lot to dig in here. I think a lot of our audience, like the first thing they think of is originating the case. Not that I know there's other complications with like the sales intake and things of that nature, but I guess let's start with and Bill, just with what you want to share.
Sure.
Most you hear PI firms, hey, invest 10 to 20% in your marketing originating these cases, and I think your model, just based upon would help facilitate you to do more. Do you think that's like just age old advice that's like just outdated? Do you think, you got to structure the firm or just dependent upon the type of firm? Like, how do you think about capitalization when it comes to like originating these cases?
Well, I mean, we have a very substantial line of credit with our bank. And as you know, there's a lot of delay in the settlement of these cases. So half our practice is single event, the other half is mass tort. And we have a very diverse case list. Unlike a handling firms have limitations on really kind of their bandwidth as well as their expertise, where for us, it's a little bit different. I mean, we have a 70-person intake department, so we can screen, a multitude of case types. We have partnering firms around the country that we partner with on these cases. We obviously try to pick the best firms, and through years of experience, we think we're really good at it. And so the other thing is we have a lot of law firms that come to us and say, hey, there was a ethylene oxide exposure case about 4 or 5 years ago in Illinois, And a firm came to us and said, hey, can you get some of these cases? I said, sure, absolutely. We ended up with the largest inventory of the cases. It settled for $450 million. We had more than anybody. And so we have a lot of firms that come to us on these cases, and we just use our own money. We advertise and we send them the cases because, we all know about the talcs, the roundups, hair relax, all the big mass torts that are going on right now. But these are niche campaigns where people come up to us and say, hey, there's a sex abuse with this one doctor in this one city or state, or clergy, this one, priest, and environmental, try to get these cases. And so, and I tell these firms, you know what, go ahead and exhaust your own marketing, but you got to remember, you're never going to get all the cases. Nobody is. I'm not going to get them all. No one's going to get them all. So rather than your competitor getting them all, do your own marketing and come to us and let us do it as well. And so there's a good chance we're going to get more than you are, but we're going to send them to you. And so, and if you want to do it after you're done with your marketing, stop, wait till you're done, then come to us and we'll start it then. So we had a law firm that came to us on the Flint, Michigan cases. It was about 5 or 6 years after the Flint incident occurred. And they said, hey, can you get us some Flint cases? I'm like, that's 5 years old. They said, yeah, but we think there's a lot of cases still out there. So we're like, that's fine. We'll go ahead and we'll market for it. We're also partners with and run the back office operations of the Ben Crump law firm. I don't know if you know who Ben Crump is, but he's a leading civil rights lawyer. And so we handle the back office and much of the operations. And so, like, for example, when the George Floyd family called, we inbounded that call, and we partnered, we're partners with Ben and assembled a legal team and so forth. But anyway, in Flint, Michigan, our firm, along with Ben, we went out and marketed as much as we could out of Flint. And within a matter of 60 days, we signed up 4,000 clients. And so I think we had the second largest inventory. There were a couple hundred firms that are involved in that litigation. And in a matter of 60 days, we had the second largest inventory. So the firm that was already in it, they have the largest inventory. But they're like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't we come to Pintas Mullins and say, okay, go ahead. We've advertised as much as we can. Let's see what you can do. And we're like, that's fine. If we can't, we can, And so that's kind of our model. And so we have a lot of firms that come to us and say, hey, can you get these kinds of cases? We do, and we send it to them. But they got to be vetted. They got to be top tier quality trial firms. Otherwise, we're not going to work with them.